Hi, everyone. Welcome to Experience League Live. My name is Betsy. I'll be your host for today. It's my first time. I'm pretty excited to be here and excited about our guests that we have, our experts. Um, so, just a couple of house cleaning items before we dive in and talk about Workfront Home, how you can use it, what features are available, and how some of our guests use it today. Um, there is a chat area available that you can use. So please use that to post questions or comments. We really want to make this as interactive as we can, and we want to hear from you because you guys are actually using it. So if you want to go ahead, maybe just use the comments right now. Tell us where you're at. Tell us a fun fact about you if you want. Get used to that so we can kind of get used to each other and be here together. The other thing is that there will be a spot available after the Experience League event where you can go and review this event as much as you want. It's a place where you can continue the discussion afterwards. Because unfortunately, we don't have a ton of time today, so we won't be able to answer everybody's questions like we want to. But we want to do that afterwards. Plus, it's a great place for you guys to communicate with each other, continue those discussions, get more in depth with it than we may be able to get here. So that is all available on experienceleague.adobe.com, and you'll get that link later on. So here you are. You've all signed up. You've all registered. You want to know about Workfront Home. Well, I'm excited to introduce our guests who will be able to help you and be able to get us going on how we can use Workfront Home. So our first guest is Ben Robbins.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Ben. How are you?
I'm doing great, Betsy. What about yourself?
Pretty good. Pretty good. And then before we let you say a little bit about yourself, let's bring in our important guest, Jamie. Come on in.
Hey, everyone.
Love the drum roll, bringing it in. So we're excited to have you guys here. We know you guys are the experts, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say. So why don't you guys just tell us a little bit about yourselves, what your role is, what organization you're with, how long you've been in that role. Ben, why don't we start with you?
Absolutely. So I'm Ben Robbins. I'm at Adobe, and I work for a part of Adobe called Workfront. I'm a product lead here. So the area I oversee for Workfront is I oversee collaboration, so making it easier for people to work together inside of Workfront. I oversee composability and extensibility, so making sure parts of Workfront can live outside of Workfront in the tools that our customers are already using. I also see reporting to make sure that people can operationalize and improve their processes when they're working inside of Workfront. And I've also recently taken on Fusion, which is our automation, low code, no code solution that helps people remove toil out of the repeated processes that they have inside.
That's cool. So nothing big, just little
Nothing,
things.
just a few things that are there just to keep the time busy.
Right. Well, cool. Well, okay, and Jamie, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Jamie Smith, and I am a director of marketing operations technology at AT&T. So thank you guys for inviting me to be your celebrity guest today. I have been with AT&T for 9 years now in multiple capacities, but for the past 2 years or so, I've been our marketing growth organization. And we're chartered with transforming the way AT&T does marketing in many facets between our process, our tooling, and our people. I am specifically focusing on the tooling part. That's why Ben and I are besties. And we are currently implementing Workfront across all of AT&T. So all of our marketers are using it for their campaigns end to end, from briefing to production, go live, and activation.
Wow, that's awesome. That's a lot of work. So congratulations and my condolences all at once. So cool. Now, again, before we dive in, I just wanted to bring up your fun facts that were showing up before. Now, I'm interested to hear this because I have no sense of time and I've never been technically struck by lightning. So can you guys just give a little background on that?
I want to hear Jamie's first because hers sounds
Okay.
incredible. And we're all lucky that she's here today after that as well.
Yeah, I'll try and give the shortened version. So, growing up, my family and I like to go camping a lot, and I'm from St. Louis. So, if you guys are from the Midwest, we've got, crazy thunderstorms that pop up. So, one popped up in the summer when we were camping. So, we all kind of huddled underneath our camper. We had a metal table underneath the awning, and I was leaning up against it. And the lightning actually technically struck the ground and shot up through the table and then through me.
Oh,
Um, so it was quite painful. So that's the technically part because it wasn't like a direct hit, but
oh,
it still hurt nonetheless.
we're glad it wasn't a direct hit. So,
Yes. Yes.
oh,
And do you have any special superpowers after that you also want to share with the audience?
They might see those a little bit later, Ben.
Okay, fantastic. So that's a tough act to follow. So mine is pretty basic. I guess my talent is I have the capability of telling time outside without a watch, without looking at my phone, with no clock, and I'm usually within plus or minus 4 minutes in one direction or the other if someone just randomly asks me what time it is. So I can just sort of look up and be like, it's 11:37. It might be 11:37, it might be 11:39, but it's not going to be 11:45. I'll be closer than that.
that's awesome. I feel like that's a big superpower because I can't even tell
Yeah.
time when looking at a watch. So,
Well, when you
superpower.
have kids on a playground, it's super helpful when you're trying to figure out if it's time to go. So yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
There might be a pop quiz later, Ben, and we'll ask you what time it is in the middle of your presentation.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
I love it. Well, cool. Well, thank you guys for sharing a little bit about yourselves. And thanks for being here. So, with that, why don't we go ahead and Ben, I'm going to turn the time over to you. And I may, just to let you guys, everybody know, I may interject every once in a while because I'm going to keep an eye on the chat, see what kind of questions pop up so we can get those answered as we go along.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much, Betsy. So what I'll do is really quickly, I'll give an overview for those people in the audience on what Workfront is. Tell a little bit about Workfront since not everybody has that information. I hope that makes the rest of the information a lot more beneficial for everybody as we move forward. So let's see. So I'll bring up my screen here and just talk about what Workfront is, how we got to where we are today, and why we have so many great people like Jamie who are interested in using the product itself. Workfront started about 20 years ago as a very basic project management tool. People felt the need to sort of get visibility in their work for their project managers. Project managers wanted to keep track of all the things that they were doing on any given day. And it was just a simple system, sort of input, look at the work that you had that you needed to accomplish and be able to track that work and potentially report out on it. As Workfront grew, it moved from being a company called @Task to using the Workfront name it uses today. And it started becoming more of what we would refer to as a collaborative work management platform. And what that means is instead of just having project managers in the system, we started bringing in more teams who could work together, teams who need visibility up and downstream from each other's work, who want to be able to hold each other accountable to timelines and maximize the efficiencies of people working together instead of having a lot of the noise that comes in when people are working as independent different silos. So we really worked on optimizing around that. Adobe recognized the growth and the potential that Workfront had, so they acquired us at about 2021, January 2021. And when they did so, Workfront started becoming more of a marketing system of record at that time. And what that means is, in addition to be able to track tasks or projects, to be able to create new work and track project across different layers of teams, from planning to production, all the way even to the optimization and measurement through reporting, we wanted to do more. So we started connecting more deeply with other Adobe products that each had their own systems, their own records, so that all of our customers could have all their records and information from a variety of different tools in one place, because all those tools impact how they work together and how those different teams work. So when we think about what the value Workfront brings, we call this operational spaghetti. It's how most teams tend to operate within an organization. They're moving back and forth across each other, revisiting processes that they had previously thought that were completed, and it's not really moving in a straight line. Work isn't continuous, it's not efficient. So Workfront takes all that work and we move it in a straight line from strategy to planning to production to building out and executing on the experience, and then personalizing it and measuring it so that the next time your team operationalizes for a campaign or for work that they need to get done, they can do it more efficiently. And oh yeah, like I mentioned earlier, to be that marketing system of record, we connect across a bunch of different applications, both first party, so within Adobe, and other third party applications, to make that experience very smooth for our customers so they can rely on us as a marketing system of record. Now, before we go into talking about the new home experience, I want to start speaking with our guest Jamie here and ask her a few more questions about what she does every day. So again, hey again, Jamie.
Hey,
So,
should I ask you what time it is right now?
yeah, 12:13. So as a director of Martech, tell me a little bit about your given day within AT&T, what you're tasked to do, and then if you could sort of weave that into why in that role you saw a need for Workfront.
Yeah, definitely. I might start with the first.
Okay.
So we had done our broad analysis a little bit over a year ago about what is the best solution for AT&T in terms of marketing optimization. Adobe was the clear front runner. They were able to check all the boxes in terms of all the capabilities that our marketers need. AT&T is not a small company, and so we've got B2B and B2C, along with our FirstNet and many other organizations that have very different marketing needs. And so we needed a very robust tool to be able to have almost 3,000 marketers communicate in one spot, along with all of our advertising agencies as they're creating creative assets. So that was kind of the reason, and it was going to be able to allow us to see better insights into what we're spending our couple $1 billion worth of advertising on. And to make better informed decisions in the future. So with that was kind of my charter. And then my day-to-day right now is we're almost done with the entire implementation of Workfront at AT&T. It's almost been a year in the making, and we're trying to tidy up the last few groups and onboard them through the beginning of next year. So that daily schedule, Ben, spans from agile ceremonies to reviewing demos to doing UAT testing last night. And tomorrow morning to meeting with our stakeholders to make sure that we're caring for all of their requirements, and then continuously keeping our leadership engaged on our progress. So it runs the full gamut.
Wow. Yeah, it certainly sounds like it's something that's going to keep you busy day in and also, unfortunately, day night as
Yes.
well. Wow, that's incredible. So you've got 3,000 marketers. Some of them are in different teams. You're trying to get them to collaborate and work with the creatives as well. So I imagine that there were probably as you went through your process, there were several pinch points that you found where those teams were not being successful, that were causing them not to be able to do their best work early on. And then presumably Workfront has helped alleviate or open up some of the flow for you. Can you tell us about what you saw Workfront open up specifically?
Yeah, the ability to collaborate real time in the tool and not have to force people to navigate out to email, we use Teams, so sorry, we don't use Slack. Just you can do everything in the tool. You don't have to pivot. You can use that. I mean, aside from the other Adobe Creative Cloud products, whenever you need to actually create the things. But yeah, the ability to tag people in, to comment, to hit the approval, and not have to use any other manual solutions.
That's great. And it seems like you're working with multiple different personas. You mentioned the creatives, you mentioned the marketers, but you also mentioned that you want to get information up to your executive team so they can keep an eye on the work. So tell us a little bit about the value that they see Workfront bringing to them.
Yes, definitely. So we have a pretty robust marketing briefing process where even our chief marketing officer is involved, especially when you think about our advertisements whenever we're doing like the March Madness sponsorship or when we did Masters and things like that. Those are pretty widely seen by customers. So we want to make sure that it's on brand. So right now we've actually used a fusion automation. So I'm glad you brought that up, Ben, earlier. To today, our brief sits in a PowerPoint, multiple slides, very cumbersome to update. We've actually put that PowerPoint into a template in Workfront and built in a fusion automation to put that into a PDF form and a nice leadership presentation that now my PM team can just hit that one click button and it's generated for them and they can bring that to presentation. So it's really saved them a lot of man hours in creating those documents.
That is great to hear. I always love to hear when the slides I gave earlier actually connect to the truth of what people are saying about how at first work was disconnected, and then we were able to bring some clarity and allow people to move in a straight line, but also give visibility across the different teams and stakeholders and allow them to see what they need to see. So that's fantastic. And then, as you've seen, we've recently released a new version of Home within Workfront. I'm not sure if you used the old version of Home or not, but I'm curious. Did you use the old version of Home? And if so, what have you seen as being a striking difference between the two systems?
Yes. Thank you for releasing the new home. I say that on behalf of my entire team, plus all of the people we've onboarded so far. So yes, we did use the new old home. I will say AT&T's marketers are picky, and I say that in the kindest way. We like to be able to customize things. And so the new home has allowed us to do that, right? The marketer is able to add whatever widgets that work for them. They can see their tasks. They can make their own personal tasks that aren't related to a project. They're able to tag people in. And so it's been really helpful to get people to adopt Workfront. So that's the other key element that's really helped us. Is like, hey, we've got like this new shiny like UI. You can customize it. You can make it your own colors. And that's actually been a really key selling point in onboarding these last couple groups.
And that's great to hear, because change management oftentimes becomes one of the hardest parts about introducing a new solution and helping people, essentially make their own lives easier or better for their, day in, day out work. So it's good to hear that through New Home, we're able to remove some of the friction within that change management, because people could see the value when they first came in.
Yeah.
I can relate to what you were saying about sometimes marketers being picky or also creative. As we've been expanding on New Home, one of the things that we really want to do is make sure that we also start to tailor for different personas even more so, and allow more flexibility there. Flexibility as people are starting to see, like as Workfront's starting to grow and change. So I showed that picture about how we've grown from the small lion up to the big lion. But as we continue to grow and change, making Workfront more flexible and giving the system itself, whether it be at the admin level or the structural level through how we run campaigns, and allowing campaigns to have their own hierarchy and their own naming to reflect what the company does for them, or even down to just the bare bones, like how you land in the Workfront, how you enter in the new home experience, making that flexible for users. We really want to change how Workfront is from a rigidity standpoint, just to make it easier to accomplish a bunch of different use cases that our customers have. So I'll ask one thing, and it's, feel free to answer honestly here. If there's one thing that you would change either about the new home or Workfront in general, what's one thing that you feel like Workfront could bring onto their roadmap that would help AT&T and your mission statement even more?
The first thing that comes to mind, Ben, is bringing back the delegate functionality that you guys had with the old home. So the ability for people to delegate tasks when they're out of the office has been much requested to bring back. So please.
Absolutely. That's perfect feedback. Well, Jamie, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on Workfront, how it's helped your organization improve change management across personas, and also how you've been able to take what you all are doing for New Home and expand. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And also, again, much like what Betsy said earlier, congratulations on all the things that you also have to do, but also our condolences. It sounds like a tough job, but from speaking to you several times, I know that you do absolutely have it under control.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. And it's been a wonderful journey. I mean, we're actually making so much progress. So, in getting everyone to work in a streamlined way, to use the same taxonomy and adoption. So, it has been bumpy, but we've already been able to see the fruits of our labor. So, the pain is worth it.
Good. Maybe we'll get T-shirts that say that Workfront, the pain is worth it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jamie. So what I'll do is I'll bring on some more of the I'll bring on some more of the screens to show the deck to show some of the things that we have with New Home, so that we can start to visualize some of the things that Jamie and I were just talking about. Uh, but to really understand New Home, you have to really understand the Old Home. Old Home, as I mentioned, didn't really serve a lot of different personas. It was actually fairly inflexible, and Workfront was trying to introduce more flexibility into its product. And it was really, oftentimes people look for one size fits all, but our old home was more of a one size fits few. It was complicated to set up. Admins had to set up the entirety of that home experience, and that put a lot of burden on them. And then users, if they were to come into it without a gracious admin helping them and navigating them along the way, the end users really did not know what to do. So they had complications in getting their work done, when essentially the point of home is to give you a safe place to go inside of Workfront to know exactly what it is that you need to do. So we revised Workfront and we made it a better experience overall. And I'm glad we came to this, because I did ask Jamie that question totally unprompted. And Jamie, I wanted to be able to tell you that one of the things that we are expanding on, by the way, is we're giving delegation of tasks and issues coming, I think, in our release on the 28th of this month. No, on the 20th of this month.
Wonderful.
So,
You will make everyone so happy here, Ben. I cannot wait to tell them.
So yeah, so our new home is a fantastic experience. As Jamie was mentioning, it allows people to have flexibility, and we're going to see some more of that flexibility in a moment. But I want to talk about a few of the things that we're also bringing on to the new home experience, in addition to the things that we've already talked about. So the ability to delegate the tasks, as Jamie was mentioning, that is one core capability that was within the old home. Even though it was inflexible, it had some core capabilities that our customers loved. And as we've transitioned away from the old home and into the new home, we've seen a lot of the things that our customers need. So the ability to delegate tasks and issues for particular workers, that's going to allow them to, whether people step away or they're gone for a while, or they need some degree of flexibility in how work gets done, we're bringing that back so our customers can continue to have flexibility in their workflows, especially since sometimes unexpected things come up and you need to delegate some of the work. So we're going to have all of that set up for my work, my tasks, my issues, and of course, approvals as well. So you can delegate those and make sure that an individual is not a blocker inside of Workfront.
Yeah, just to quickly add to that, Ben, it's
Yeah,
like also the other good thing that this will help do is capacity manage teams. Because as you've got like a robust team, maybe there's like one team that works on a specific product and that they're high volume during certain months, that can help people kind of even
that,
out the work.
that makes great sense. Thank you. That is a perfect use case. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah.
So Ben, we just a quick follow up. We had a question from Madeline here, just wondering if it's on the roadmap to be more specific with the delegations, because she was just stating here that one of the reasons why they don't use it is you can't. They wanted to be able to delegate by group or portfolio, not all tasks for just one person to go to another. So is that in the roadmap? Has that been in your view?
Yeah, that's come up several times actually. So one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to release some of these parity experiences, so delegate tasks just in general, as well as a few other capabilities that we'll talk about in a moment, to the new home experience. And then as people start to adapt those, yeah, we will probably bring in that feature. I know it's on the roadmap. I don't remember where it is, but it has come up several times. We're looking at ways that you can delegate across groups or teams, or rather than just individuals.
Awesome. Cool. And just as a follow up, the release is happening actually today, I think.
Oh,
So
that's right. The
you
26th.
just see that.
Thank
Days
you
are
very
melding. It happens.
much. They absolutely are. Uh, One thing that kept coming in as we, again, sticky on old home, moving into new home, one of the things that kept coming in is people had a lot of specific filters that they were accustomed to inside of the old home, specifically work that was ready, not ready, or filtering by completed, or the ability for people to be able to quickly action and say that they're working on it. These things were really key to our customers when understanding the work that needed to be done, especially when our admins were setting up templates and wanted to make sure that each of their end users could see what it is that they needed to see. So we've rapidly been able to bring some of these filters out into our customers so that they can take advantage of them. For those who aren't aware, Workfront historically had been on quarterly releases, so we would release every quarter. Recently, we've also allowed our customers to elect into monthly releases, and roughly about 30% of our customers have done so far. And for those customers who were on the monthly fast releases, we were actually able to get them these changes in some of the experiences, whether it be delegate tasks or whether it be some of these filter enhancements that you see here. We were able to bring those capabilities into customers iteratively through our August and our September releases. So if you are an existing Workfront customer and you're looking to get some enhancements pretty quickly to things as they continue to change and grow within Workfront, that's one option. Or if you're a pending or considering Workfront customer and you know that you always want to have the latest and greatest capabilities to roll out to your end users to relieve their challenges right away, that's one option. I think customers come in, they're typically enabled on the quarterly release, but as we move forward, new customers will be on default for the monthly release, and existing customers, those customers will have to manually go in and enable themselves on the monthly release to be able to take advantage of these sort of advances on a monthly basis instead of a quarterly cadence. But again, we've been able to demonstrate to our user base who's out there using the new home and remove some of their frustrations or gaps that they felt existed between the old home and new home, be able to bring those in gracefully for them through this fast release process. So it's actually been a great help to have these two processes released around the same time.
Cool. Just a follow-up question to that. Do you know when the old home will be removed so we just have the new home?
That's a great question. We are anticipating that we will do it at the end of Adobe's first half of next year. So Adobe's quarters are shifted 1 month ahead of what would be a traditional calendar quarter. So I think that would be end of May or very beginning of May for us when we would probably start to deprecate the existing home. One of the reasons why we feel comfortable about it is before home had, the old home had a fairly small adoption because it was old, it was dated, as I mentioned. It was basically one size fits most. I mean, one size fits few. And by bringing in the new home, we've acquired so many new active users who weren't even previously using the old home because now they find this experience where they're able to drag and drop any widget that they need to be able to see work the way that they want to see it, to get work done the way they want to get it done. They're able to get that right away. So it's really removed some of the barriers to, as Jamie was mentioning, to like change management, bringing in new users who had been hesitant and getting other existing users up and moving more quickly. So since we're seeing that rapid adoption and that rapid growth across all of our users, we feel very confident in the deprecation of the existing home, especially as we've started to bring in some of these new enhancements that we're talking about today. So that being said, we don't want to just yank the rug underneath anyone's feet. So that's probably why we wait until the end of the Adobe first half of 2024.
Cool. And I know you're constantly adding new widgets. I just saw a bunch that were with this release, so that'll be cool to see those come in as well before the old home is deprecated.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming to pipeline. I don't want to tease all of it today, but yeah, there are some really cool innovative things coming into the new home experience. Um, One of the things that, speaking of new things, one of the things that people have been asking for, though, some admins in particular, is what they liked about the old home is that they could go ahead and configure the layout for their end users. So, what we did with new home is we actually did some baseline layouts for customers and end users based on their license type. And we knew a few widgets based on their personas, things that could be useful. And so while that might be one size, moving away from one size fits few to one size fits most with the new home, it's not one size fits all. And so we're able to start to transition into one size fits all by finally giving our admins the ability to be able to control and create layout templates around the home experience for teams or for groups or for an individual. So that way the admin sort of sets up the experience based on how that organization might work in particular, how a team works, those sort of things. Because a lot of admins have really close relationships with the end users and the teams that they support. So we want to make sure that they have the capability to adjust that experience as they see fit. So I have like a quick little demo below, but as you can see here, we're in the existing layout template framework, and you're able to create a preview space of the home experience, create and lay out the widgets ahead of time for your users, and then adjust your settings. So what I'll do now is I'll show the really quick demo, and then we'll talk about it in a little bit more detail if people have questions.
This is awesome, Ben. We actually had some questions right off the bat from, I think, Robert and Madeline about when are we going to get those admin controls. So this is perfect.
Fantastic. No, we're really excited to bring this. This is going to start releasing in sort of a early access component in November, I believe. And then as we start to move into the first official release of 2024 in January, every admin will be able to get their hands on this capability.
Awesome.
Yeah, so when I say Q1 2024, I don't mean the tail end. I mean almost the first day of 2024, you'll be able to get access to this.
Wonderful. Yeah, we definitely spend a lot of time like trying to help people configure their homepage, like in our training sessions and office hours. So this will be great.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you, Jamie. Yeah, as you can see here, we're in the existing layout templates. We can go in, we select the home workspace area, and it gives us a layout setting. There, I'll pause it. It was moving a little too fast. There, the user has actually gone in. They're clicking on My Projects and My Issues. Let me take this back a second. All right. So they go into the new layout template. The first thing that they do when they land on the landing page where they can adjust and add new widgets is they then go to widget settings, and they're able to look at filters and groups and columns and then assign those based on their projects, their tasks, and their issues. And of course, as well, they can go in, resize, or remove different types of widgets and add new widgets. What you'll see here is there actually a boards widget that they're adding. So for those people who are active boards users, rest assured that we actually have boards coming into this workspace as well. So again, you'll be able to see the widgets that you need. You'll be able to save those templates, and then of course, eventually clone them so they can persist. You don't have to recreate your templates for each one of your users. So a lot of the admins asked for this to be part of the existing layout template experience. They wanted to make sure that they could maintain and adjust existing filters, views, and groups. And that's the things that we've really been bringing in as we take this experience, bring it into the admin controls, and allow admins to create a special place for their end users. So I'll stop there for just a moment before I go into a few other things. Or are there any additional questions on the admin controls? Just because I know that's been such an interesting topic for users.
Let me see. We're getting a lot of comments, so I'm just trying to read through them all.
Yeah, go ahead.
We had one from Madeline that says, are these preset layouts by Workfront, or Workfront admins can do this?
Yeah, so Workfront admins will be able to adjust these. So when they go in, you'll get a blank canvas, and you can start adding each one of your different widgets to that workspace. So you'll be able to come over here on the edit design. You can either edit your project's tasks or your issues, or you can go into design and layout there on the left, and you can start to add new widgets without even worrying about our pre-existing templates. I want to say that we probably bring in my work and my tasks right away are already on there for you, since those are the two most commonly used ones across all personas. But you could just as easily remove those as well if you felt the need to, or did not feel like you needed them.
Okay, fantastic. I think the rest of the questions are kind of more about what widgets are coming out in particular. Are we going to get a calendar view widget? That seems to be a popular one. And also, is there a way to set up widgets for? Oh, we answered that one. Sorry, I'm trying to read through these questions.
No problem.
And then I'm sure you'll show it in just a bit, but we had a question that says, is there a way to create like personal tasks in Workfront Home? So
Absolutely. So what I'll do really quickly is I'll switch And I will go into, even though this is going to be blank for just a moment, I will share my Workfront Home experience.
Oh, we did have someone bring up, and I apologize if I get the name wrong. Neville just wondered maybe we could add new home templates to blueprints. So for those who are using blueprints, they might have that option to just say we have these types of users, add that in through a blueprint, which would be cool.
No, that's fantastic feedback, actually, because we do plan to improve our blueprints and add more templates. So for those who aren't aware what blueprints are, they are, even though my team owns it, I'm not biased based on that. I really do feel like blueprints is like our best kept secret. They're essentially these out of the box templates that allow you to configure certain areas of Workfront very quickly. So if you're first starting with Workfront, or if you're onboarding new teams within Workfront, you can go and look on the right hand side based on use case or based on what your industry is, filter out the types of templates you need, and you can roll out quick use cases for reporting, for approvals, for new product introduction, a ton of different things that we've seen from our consulting services, experiences that they had to do time and time again. We just turn them into templates that our customers can just click, do a few quick clicks, and then after about 30 seconds of configuration, roll it out, what would have normally taken them hours to complete. So if you're an admin and you want to play with blueprints, I certainly recommend that you do. And us bringing in home into blueprints seems like a logical next step. So thank you very much for whomever suggested that. So as you can see here, this is my what we would call old home at this point, that which we plan to deprecate probably again around end of May next year, early May or end of May next year. And for some, it can be very confusing. Uh, being able to navigate between the work list and the calendar, not a lot of people find it. Sometimes people have issues on understanding how to create their new task here or what that's going to mean. And looking at the list just doesn't feel very modern for them. So we created the new home experience, which is a lot different. We now have anything that an individual would want, they can customize and bring in based on a series of widgets. We have a widget catalog available for them. So as you can see here, I now have a boards widget that I can easily add. I get a toast that tells me it's been successfully added, and we'll look more at that in a second. I can add approvals, for instance, and I can continue to add any sort of item I need. I can even change the color to reflect my own personality or how I'm feeling that particular day. I can even take it to none and make it very bland. So we'll leave it here, and then users can see all the information they need. They can see all of their projects. They can do their personal tasks, as someone was mentioning, for to-dos. Need to follow up on PowerPoint. They can set dates and times for those personal tasks as well. Of course, you can see all of their tasks. They have their My Work option, so very familiar for some of the things that people did love and enjoy about their previous home experience. We're able to bring in that My Work capability with a bunch of the different types of filters they needed and all the different types of sorting that they wanted. My issues, and of course, boards as well. I can add a new board if I have one, or I can create a new board right here from the widget, and I can choose my specific board style. And I can start, again, continuing to visualize my work the way I see fit or the way I need to. I can also change the size of each widget and make everything prominent based on what it is that I need in particular. And I have my approvals here as well. Another widget that we have that's very popular and common for people to use, whether it be approvals, issues, my work, to-dos, my tasks, or our mentions widgets, making sure that people feel like they're part of the conversation. An enhancement, by the way, that we have coming in, that I'll go ahead and tell you about, even though I had a quick slide on it. The enhancement that we have coming in the pipeline is to make our update stream real time. So instead of the experience that you have today, where an individual has to refresh in order to see a comment that's come in, an individual will no longer have to do that. And if an update happens, that update's going to populate. So our goal is to make this new home experience by giving users and admins the ability to create the views that people need, by making it flexible, not only based on the types of widgets that you need, so you can easily add and remove, but also allowing users to be able to resize in any way that they want based on what's important to them, what they feel like deserves prominence. We're allowing people to see their work more easily, have a comfortable space where they really, if you're a worker, you can spend most of your time on this page without navigating across the whole of Workfront and using most of what Workfront does. And we save the most of Workfront for a lot of the power users, for a lot of the project managers and other individuals who need to do more in the system rather than complete tasks. So it's been a great experience. One more thing about it is, we've developed a bunch of quick actions. So whether you need to quickly upload a file, again, you don't have to navigate out of Workfront. You can do that here. If you have a custom form, if you need to edit or bring up a custom form, you can do that all here as well without navigating out. And of course, you can also add a new update. You can participate in the comment stream without switching or going directly into the project. But if you do need to change information on the project and you have rights to do that, you can do that in line through these widgets as well. Again, just showing what capabilities we're bringing to people all within a single space rather than making them have to become Workfront experts on day one. We want an individual who's new to Workfront to be able to come in, see what Workfront has to offer, and be able to immediately start on their work and see the value and how Workfront's helping them out.
So, Ben,
So
we've had a couple of questions real quick about, we've had some really good questions come through here, and thanks to you and others for helping me answer those. But we've had quite a few, most lately from Ross, about the ability to, can an admin control filters on something like the My Widget, my projects widget? Can they do that in the admin controls currently? Is that on the roadmap? And then with those filters, can um, individuals, or excuse me, can admins control those, or like what views they see or how they group things?
great question. So the short answer is yes. So here I've clicked on filters now. You can see that we have a list of sort of standard out of the box. Actually, and this is my own account, so I don't have any of the Workfront custom filters in here. But you can see some of the out of the box filters that we have. And then also organizations and customers can customize what filters they have, and they'll show here as well. And as a part of our admin layout template, being able to support filters, views, and groups, you'll be able to dictate essentially what type of filters a team, individual, or a group can see. But that will come as part of our admin control. So it's not something they can do today or with the release that's rolling out today. But as we start moving into 2024 with the admin control experience that we bring in with that first release, I'm not sure if the filters are going to be part of the first release or not. I think they might be, but you will be able to control the filters as well for users.
Cool. And is it just the standard, or will they be able to add like custom filters that they've created or a custom view? Will they be able to control that as well?
Yes, the custom ones will be able to show up and will be part of that experience.
Cool.
And I'm glad filters came up. I had mentioned earlier, that we added a few of the historical filters that were there in the old home, along with, I'm working on, things I'm working on, things that have been completed, ready for work, ready to start, not ready to start. But we also brought in the capability to stack filters. So before, when we initially rolled out Home, you could multi-select filters, but if you did, they did not stack. So if you selected completed and things that were due this week, you would get a list of both work that was completed and things that were due this week, not things that you had completed that were due this week. So we introduced the ability to not only select filters, but to also be able to stack filters, so you can get even more clarity on the work that's being done. All great questions. Thank you. So I'll switch one last time over to back to the deck really quickly, just to share a little bit more goodness that's coming in through Workfront. So what you're seeing here is just the overall Workfront roadmap. One of the things I just wanted to point out is Workfront in general, as I mentioned, we've done a lot with New Home, but we're going to continue to roll out a lot of value for our customers across a bunch of different areas. So I'm glad that this team will be able to get access to this video and this presentation later on. But what I want to point out is everything that is in that light peach color are things that we plan to GA and when we plan to GA them. So I just wanted to share with this audience that Workfront is continuing to grow. We've gone from a small lion at Task to a cub, and then all the way up to a big lion as we've started to become part of Adobe. But that doesn't mean that the growing has stopped. We have a lot of things that we plan to GA across Q4 and across the first half of next year. So please get ready, get excited. You're going to continue to see Workfront introduce more capabilities for its customers and also improve on the overall end user experience. The new home component has been part of that. But one more thing that we have coming down the pipeline that's part of that as well is our ability to be able to improve our commenting service. Our commenting service now is disjointed between Proof and Workfront. As I mentioned, it's not real time. We're resolving that. We're making sure that Proof and Workfront have a single commenting stream. So from here on, when you're inside of Home, as we connect these commenting streams, what you see will be your comments for not just Workfront, but also your comments around proofs. And we're going to have the ability for commenting to be able to show, be able to copy and paste or drag and drop images to those comments, to be able to remove people from commenting threads, to be able to edit comments that you've put in place, and again, be able to see these comments appear in real time. We are also including small social interactions that people enjoy, like being able to thumbs up a comment instead of having to reply to it, but just to be able to acknowledge that you've seen it and that you agree. So a lot of things that we're doing to help improve the experience, but not just improve the experience for end users. We really care about our admins. We want to make sure that we improve their experience as well. So one thing I wanted to bring up that we are going to roll out soon is environment promotion for our customers. Today, our admins spend a lot of time creating the perfect sandbox, the perfect staging environment for Workfront to get it up and running. And then they have to manually redo everything. What we're going to allow our admins to be able to do is to be able to duplicate what's going on in that sandbox and automatically carry it over into their production environment, so they don't have to spend time recreating it, or even worse, spend time recreating it and there being an error in place, something that they forgot to catch. So we're going to bring forward that capability, and eventually we're going to allow, after we do our first phase of that, we're going to allow our customers to be able to start being selective about what they promote, either being able to deselect things that they don't want to promote if they want to promote most of the sandbox, or to be able to just individualize a few things that they want to promote if they don't want to promote everything as well. So those are just some of the few goodies that we have coming to our customers in the not too distant future. And I just want to call attention to those because they've been big requests, and I wanted to make sure that everyone here got a chance to see it first. So that's it for me. I'll get ready here and I'll stop sharing. But I really want to thank the audience for giving us this time. And Jamie, I wanted to thank you again for coming here and speaking to us today, telling us not only about all the hard work that you do, but really how you've been able to work inside of Workfront, how Workfront's been able to have a positive impact on your organization, how you've been able to immediately see some of those returns from your investment essentially on Workfront, and then how New Home has been part of that story as well, especially with the change management and being able to simplify how picky, your words, not mine,
Yes.
picky marketers come in and creatives and how they adopt the platform also. So thank you so much for sharing that story with us. It's been really impactful.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here. And did you feel my superpower? Because with that last sandbox enhancement, that's what I've been telling you to do telepathically for the entire year.
There you go. Between that and delegate tasks, your power has been working. So I'm gonna go find a golf club and stand outside by a big tree and see if I can get that power.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. Been wonderful. And yeah, if anybody out in the audience has any questions, or if there was anything I can do to help in terms of, a customer implementation, I'd be more than happy to chat with you.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for being here. We had a lot of questions, a lot of good comments. We couldn't get to all of them today. So just as a follow-up, we do have a page where we'll be able to post all these questions and hopefully have some answers for you on that page, so you can go and review everything that was said or not said that we couldn't get to in the live event here. But we really appreciate you all taking the time and for the good questions that we were able to get to. And thank you, Ben, for being so on the spot with those answers. I know it's not always easy because our customers really like using our product and they want to improve it. So it's always hard to be that person, but I appreciate it. And Jamie, thank you again for being here. Your experience is awesome. We're so glad that you're one of our customers and that you're implementing our product, and we hope you have a good experience with it. So,
Yes, we love our Adobe partnership. So thank you guys for having me. I'm glad to share my story. I'm sure a lot of enterprise customers like to hear it real time. So
yeah, for sure. Well, cool. So again, thank you guys again. Just remember, everything is going to be on experienceleague.adobe.com, and hopefully we'll see you guys in a future live event where we'll find out more about some other products we're coming out for you guys. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye,
thank you
everybody.
all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.